Alrighty, so we're back down off the roof and just putting up these little 1x2 trim pieces or runners in the wall here. It's just the stock configuration of what the house originally had. And with the siding I'm going to put up, I really don't need it, but we got to get the inspector to think this is the stock walls. So we're just sticking with what was. But yeah, just getting it ready. My pops is coming up for a week here in a few days. I think this was like a Friday that I was working on this, or a Thursday that I had off. But after I get a few of these sections done, I end up taking off to Portland for the weekend because I ordered my mini split air conditioning heat pump and just had it sent to the Home Depot in Portland because I had to go down there anyway. But since I had to go down there, I figured I'd save the almost $200 in taxes buying my mini split there. And then I'll show you a picture in a second. I bought a couple skateboards. They're like a limited edition collectors from reissues from 80 skateboards that I used to use when I was a young kid. And now they're just going to be art pieces, but you'll get a little picture of that here in a second. But there's the AC unit, picking it up. And there are the boards. You know Tony Hawk, that guy in the middle. If you know anything about skateboarding, you'll know him. Or even if you don't. But yeah, we got this done. When Dad showed up, didn't tape it, but we'll give it a breakdown. And here I'm just cutting out some of the windows, and there are so many different ways to undo that. But I just went with the flush cut. But yeah, we'll talk about all that happened previously here. And so stay tuned. And right there, just talking to Pops about how things should be done. But here you go. Welcome to the disaster zone, everybody. We're going crazy over here. Spending a week of vacation out here. My dad came up from Escondido to help me out. And look at this. We got all the runners put in. So my dad came in here on Sunday, and it was later in the day, and so all he did, he just came out to check out the property, and then I just had him nail in all the nail plates here because the electrical wire is going to be going through here. And then the next day, Monday, we came and he took care of all the runners for all the walls. I had taken care of most of them on this wall, but he finished that up. And then I was just finally putting those little beams up above the headers on the walls that I forgot. Did some other things, but yeah, he took care of that. And then obviously, let's see what day is today, Tuesday. So Monday we did the runners, and then we got all the Tyvek on there, which makes it look nice. Obviously we didn't staple it all, which is fine, but needed to get it up because I am camping out here for a week. Got a little mini fridge and all my little snacks, and it's been warm enough. Actually, it was too hot during the day, but yeah, it's perfect. So yeah, you can hear him cutting out there, and we'll go meet him in a minute. But yeah, I just wanted to give you a breakdown. I think the goal to get done this week is to get the siding on, so we're kind of working on that right now. And hopefully, I haven't recorded much, obviously, just showing you where I'm at. And maybe we'll try to get some recording done, but we've just been trying to get work done. So anyway, howdy again. Enjoy. So anyway, you've seen this before where I put the little straps in the bump out, and I took them out to readjust it because it just wasn't all squared up. So we did the best we can to get it squared up, and now we're doing the final strapping down. And you can see I used the car jack there with the board to kind of get it as level as possible along the span. It did get, I did set it a little above, so when the final screws go in and get rid of the jack, it'll even out. And then I did say I was going to interview my dad, but we did do interviews, so I did just take a few pics, and so you can see my pops, my old 73-year-old man there, and he's in great shape, and we did a lot of work. And Mom came up one day, her brother was in town, so they came out for a barbecue, and that's my uncle right there. And my parents have been divorced for 20, 30 years now, but they get along, which is good, so always nice to have them together. And Penny don't like coming out much, but she brought her along, so that was nice. And this was a near disaster with my little work shoes here, right? Almost, well, I did step on a nail, but it went sideways instead of straight through, so I lucked out there. And my goodness, someone's watching over me because that could have been bad. But anyway, back to the work. And that's what my dad was doing. We'll discuss that later. But for now, I'll show you here what we're putting in between those little furring strips is a little insulation. And this is what pretty much what Pops is working on next. But I started to help him out for a bit. So it's just 1/2 inch styrofoam and then just measuring the gap between the little furring strips and cutting out the foam there. He's got a better work stand outside, but I just had one on the inside and working on the other end of the house, going, to meet him in the middle. And you just kind of want to make it a little bit, just a tad, wider than the strips there, so that it, you just kind of push it in place and it'll stay. And then just cut off the bottom end there. But after doing that for a bit, I decided, the weather's nice. I'm going to go up on the roof and put my insulation up there and then put the temporary sheeting on top of that. So I will go up there in a second and we'll check in there. So take care. All right, guys. Sorry I haven't recorded much. I don't know if I talked about it, but, just got Dad here, so we're just stuck working and not thinking much about filming. Sorry about that. But here I've just started putting the foam panels on top of the roof here. We're doing 2 4 or 1 inch squares or rectangles, I guess, pieces. And I got these cool little caps to hold the foam pieces into place, and they seem to be pretty cool. So anyway, this isn't really the type of foam you usually want to put on roofs. It's usually the harder, more dense. It's like the pink foam with the panther on it, extruded. But I got the deal for these, so they'll work. You can see there's like little indents when I'm walking on it, which they're not as bad as I thought they were going to be. So I think this will be all right, especially for the price I got them. But I'm just doing the 4-foot sheets, and then I'll do the whole roof and then leave this one aisle for the last, because they're all it's a little not square or off center, so they'll be custom cut pieces each one. So yeah, we're just gonna do all that we can. I threw about 12 more sheets up here, so we'll do 2 more rows, and if I'm too hot from the sun, I'll do this later. But yeah, sorry I just haven't been recording, but like I said, just spending time with Dad and just super motivated to just keep working. So anyway, I'll try to get some more footage in here, but he's only here for 2 more days, so after he's gone, then I'll be back into recording mode. So all right, guys. So I did set up the tripod for this little section here. I don't do all of it with filming, but thought I'd give you a little taste of how I did this. And I tried to find where a roof truss was to screw in through the sheeting into the trusses, and it worked on a lot of spots. It took a while to where I could figure out if I was hitting truss or not, but yeah, there's plenty of spots where it didn't work. And then I do end up putting caps, where each little 4 corners meets, and obviously that's not gonna be on a truss, but it worked out. So we'll just give you a little picture montage here of getting this done one by one, and yeah, as it goes. I did take a few days doing this because it was pretty hot up there, and then obviously right there it was like some clouds came over, and it felt much nicer to go up there and do that, because I'm a baby when it comes to heat. If you haven't learned that, us little Northwesterners here, not so used to it. But yeah, anyway, so on the end here, I was like, it's going to be custom cut. Each one's going to be a pain. But what I ended up doing was just putting them all up there, and then put a long blade on my Sawzall and just ran it across. And then sometimes you got to keep an eye on your employees, make sure they're not slacking. But anyway, yeah, it worked out. It's not pretty after I cut them off, but it's getting covered up anyway. So as long as it's there, we're all good. But yeah, this little section, or this whole roof, it went up faster than I thought, because they're big pieces and 4 screws here and there. It goes by pretty fast, so that was nice. Anyway, we'll give you a little breakdown of that here. All right, guys, look at this. We got the foam up here, at least on the main roof. Still got to do that one. Yeah, pretty cool, huh? I just haven't done this one yet because I think I have to replace one of these pieces of plywood, maybe two of them, because this one's really soft now from getting wet. This one's really black underneath. I sprayed it with vinegar, so mold should be dead, but it's kind of a little dark on the top here. I don't know, if I find a half sheet of plywood, I might replace it too, but definitely this little one, and then we'll put the foam up there. And yeah, this process went pretty fast. Luckily today is not too hot, so it's not too bad being up here. There is a lot of, I just kind of went off the edge here for the first row, and then it just kind of cattywampus all the rest, so they're not square. House isn't square, so you'll see these little gaps in here. Some of them aren't so bad, some of them are worse, and then you can see the roof still underneath them. I'm just putting plastic up here for now. That's like a temporary stopgap because the EPDM pond liner material rubber that I'm gonna get to do the actual roof cover, the price before Rona was like $1,200 for I need a 15 by 90 sheet to cover this and that, and they were like $1,200 when I first started researching them. Then it went up to 15, then it went up to 18, and then it went up to 2,000, and right now it's like at 2,250. So I'm hoping that when oil prices go down, the rubber sheets will go down as well. So I went and bought a 10 mil like farm plastic. It's pretty heavy duty that I'm just gonna put on here, and hopefully it'll last through one winter season and be okay until spring. And then hopefully the prices will go down and I'll have some money saved up because my budget's gone low. So it's just not in the budget to buy this aspect of it for now, but we'll make do. And I did cut, all the big trees around here. Still need to get this one down, a couple others, but so hopefully no sticks will be falling. This tree is staying, but hopefully nothing big will fall off to puncture the plastic that's on here. But again, just one season and we should be good. But yeah, this is what it looks like. I'd show you before putting the plastic up. These little caps are pretty cool, holding all the foam down. Yeah, there it is. Yep, we just pulled this little sheet out of here, the bump out. Yeah, I'll probably leave this one here. I mean, you can see the stains here, but I'll just douse it with some more vinegar so it'll kill any spores in there. So if it ever does get moist, it won't, moist, I hate that word. If it does ever get damp or wet, it won't re-sprout those spores. That's the hope and goal anyway. So I bought this big stack of old plywood that was like off sizes, 3 foot by 7 foot or so. So I figured it was just probably old shipping crates a guy broke down and sold as, plywood. And yeah, I think my suspicions were true here. We get a packing slip on this one. So I'll see what this thing contained here in a minute. All right, so we just replaced that piece of wood with a fresh, brighter colored one. Seems pretty solid when I walk on it, so that's good. And this, yeah, like I said, this one's pretty solid, and sheets of plywood are insanely expensive, so I just doused it with a ton of vinegar, and it seems like this stuff on the top end is just, dirty water stains from the tarp that was sitting here. So yeah, if there's any mold in there to get killed, and I'll just keep spraying the bottom end where the definite mold is, and maybe paint it with some stains or kills or whatever you call that stuff, primer, and then I just dump some on those. So yeah, we'll get to that last pile of styrofoam to put up here. The funny thing about putting these last ones up, Dad was working just below me here, so he got a winter storm in July with all the excess foam flying off. It's pretty funny. Look at this, guys. We got all the foam in. So cool. So glad it's up here. We're still working on the walls down here. You can see we got that wall done. All the back or the front door walls done. I'm almost done with the back there. But we got to do this wall, this wall. My dad's working on this wall right now. So yeah, things are looking good. One of the things I really liked about putting this foam on the bump out here is I got the C channel metal here, and this 2 inches of foam like pretty much meets up at the base of the metal C-channel, so it just fills in that gap we had there almost perfectly. So that's pretty cool. I'm glad that worked out that way. So anyway, we're gonna go to lunch. I might put the plastic on today, but I think we wanted to get, my dad's leaving tomorrow morning, so this is his last day here. It's Friday, and we wanted to see what it looks like with siding. We were hoping to get the siding done during his trip here, but not to be. Oh well. So I think we're just going to do the front shear wall in siding, and or after we come back from lunch, just kind of do siding until he's done for the day. So at least get the front end done, just so we see what it is going to look like. But yeah, so far so good. I like it. Well guys, my dad just left. It's Friday afternoon, evening. He's gonna be taking off in the morning to head back to California. And we successfully turned this property, well, it was already a disaster zone, but an extra special disaster zone now, with all the debris that we created over this week of work. Just stuff everywhere. It's pretty crazy, but we got a lot done. Not as much as we thought we were gonna get done. We were hoping to get the siding up, but we got the furring strips, well, first of all, the runners on the walls inside, and the furring strips to put the foam on the outside after we put the house wrap on. So we got all that done, and then we were able to cut the little foam insulation on the outer walls. And on this side, most of the back side, or the back shear wall, all of this wall, the front shear wall, as seen here. And then we finished off this wall, most of the bump out. There are just a few spots that he missed. He missed this little wall here, the little spots above, and then we ended, yeah, right back here. He didn't get these two because the ladder he had was kind of wonky on the ground here, so he didn't get to that. Started over there, but yeah, so we just have a few in the back, this whole wall, a few here and there. Then it will be time to put the paneling up. We wanted to get like one panel up just to see what it looked like, but I was just so energy today, just a few hours ago, and so was he, and I laid around, and so I'm feeling better now. But he decided he needed to get some rest because he's got to drive 12 hours tomorrow, so we called it a day, and it was glad to see him. Always a pleasure to see my dad. So, and the help was tremendously appreciated. But yeah, I got the as well the foam up. I just put this plastic up here. It's 10 mil farm plastic, so hopefully it'll last for this winter, so that next spring I can buy the legit roof cap. But for now, that's what we got, because the budget has shrunk. But yeah, it is what it is. That's how it works when you rebuild a house, I suppose. But all right, guys, now that he's gone, I'll start recording more while I'm working, just to have more time to do that. Oh, looks like I didn't put enough staples in that back corner, so we'll get that done before I'm out of here for the day. So anyway, we'll see you on the next, or we'll see you here in a second, or in the next video. All right, y'all. All right, here's a view of the temporary roof cover. Still got to put it on the bump out. But yeah, we got it up here. It's kind of funny, because I put it on when the sun was out. This thing was blazing hot. I couldn't even touch it. It was burning my legs and my hands, so I had to get off and go pull it from the sides. But it was kind of, you know, it wasn't loose. I had it pretty tight, but now that it's cold, it's got way tighter, and I think it actually pulled some staples up in the back end. Either that or some wind did it. But yeah, I just had to restable some. I'm going to anchor them better with some wood strips like I did up in the front here before I take off for the evening, and hopefully it'll stay where it's supposed to be. But yeah, pretty crazy. But yeah, hopefully this stuff lasts at least until spring, so one winter of rains. Hopefully it doesn't leak, but we'll find out.